The views and opinions expressed on this program are solely those of the host and guest and do not reflect the opinions or policies of the station, its owners, or its advertisers. All content should be considered editorial in nature. Listener discretion is advised.
Recorded live, Cumberland County's smartest hour of talk radio. Welcome back to another edition of the Carolina Cabinet.
Strange thing.
Well, everybody, good evening and welcome to the Carolina Cabinet. I'm your host, Peter Pappas, in studio with Mrs. Laura Mussler.
Hello, hello.
Braving the sickness to be with me tonight. Yep. I appreciate you. So here at the Cabinet, we know we are the smartest hour of radio. Our job is to give a voice to the conservatives of Fayetteville, Cumberland County, and beyond. And with that, we have a lot to do. So one of the most powerful politicians in our state, Senate Leader Phil Berger, I think he just lost his own primary in a razor-thin upset so far today. I think they're 12 votes apart, so it's
23.
Yeah,
23. Currently, it's 23.
You found 23. Okay.
Yep.
So, but then overseas, we got the war with Iran escalating. I don't even want to call it a war yet, but the U.S. and Israeli strikes, the conflict. I like this. The U.S. and Israelis have decapitated the Iranian regime's leadership. Iran is retaliating, and American troops have been killed. And so far, oil's going nuts a little bit. So we got a lot to unpack tonight. Can't wait. As usual, what have we been up to last week?
Oh, let's see. Tuesday night, we canceled our FRWC meeting because we were going to have a watch party, but I have no brains. So,
you have plenty. You just weren't using them at that moment.
Yeah. Our meeting starts at 6. The polls close at 7:30. What are we going to have results for? And we're not. So I postponed it till this week. So now we're going to have a enjoyable potluck here at the Resource Center and just celebrate the wins of our incumbents, Diane Wheatley, who is one of our members, and just play some games. We have a silent auction, a little bit of fundraising, just have some fun and just relax after all of the hard work that we've done with not only the election, but we also just had our GOP County Convention.
Cumberland County GOP Convention. Sounds like fun. Maybe not. I don't know.
I was there.
You were there. So we had a GOP X executive committee meeting
on Thursday night.
For those of you that are uninitiated, anybody that participates with the GOP and you are what's called a precinct chair has a vote. You are an executive committee member. So So go ahead.
Prior elected officials, current elected officials. If each auxiliary club, the women's club, the men's club, the teens club, they all have a spot on at their ex officio members.
So basically, if you've done that, you have a vote.
Yes.
On the executive committee. So, and I always like to talk about the executive committee is the whole body.
The whole entire body. The whole entire body is all of Republicans inside the county.
Right.
The executive committee represents the entire body in a room, and then we have the board that does this day-to-day.
And the board is just your essentially your president, vice president, your chair, your vice chair, second vice, all those
treasurer,
positioners, or whatever, secretary, treasurer, all that good stuff.
Right.
So we had that meeting Thursday night because we had to vote for somebody to actually check the door on Saturday morning to be the credentials chair. So if you went to the convention, you paid your $10, you had to have your photo ID because we're big on that. And they had to make sure you are actually a registered Republican to enter that room.
Not just a registered Republican. You had to be registered by, I think it was January 31st.
There's definitely a lead up to that. But what's important about those conventions, and people don't understand, if you attend your local convention, then you're kind of in the zone. Once you attend, then you can be a delegate to the state, and then from there to the federal, right?
Yeah.
Like if the president has a,
go ahead, tell me about that. I'm going to give a negative feedback here, and it'll be seen as being hostile. But as the first vice chair of the GOP, I was not consulted whatsoever, even though I asked several times to be included, because I had some fantastic ideas for marketing, but was never consulted because President Trump has said that he's going to have a convention this year. Well, guess what?
Which is odd for a midterm.
It is not very odd for a midterm.
Yes.
So most people don't participate in, or we don't have a nationwide convention.
Right.
But this year, Donald Trump said he's going to have a mid-year convention. Well, guess what, people? You have to attend your county convention to be considered to be, when first you attend your precinct, then you attend the county convention, then if you don't attend your county convention, you can't go to your district convention. At your district convention is where the delegates are selected to go to wherever it is that
to
we have
whatever
our
national convention.
national
And
convention.
to me,
correct.
it's kind of like, look, at the county, we're here in the elementary school, and I'll get to that in a minute. Then the middle school is your state, and then the high school is your district, and then your master's program, your college degree is coming from the national convention, I think.
Well, you skipped it. Actually,
Did I
it's,
skip one?
yeah, it's county, then district, then state.
Oh, well.
So, no. but county, I mean, district is
I've
kind
only
of
been
a little
to
bit
like
off.
one district meeting.
Okay, I go to them all.
I
I've
know,
not missed
you're
any.
a big nerd, but
I am a nerd.
But
but it's very frustrating to have not been included, because I would have pushed that. You cannot be a delegate for if you don't attend. So come out.
Well, first of all, attendance was dismal. I think we had around, it looked to me about 50 people.
It was just about that.
Was it?
I don't know.
Okay.
We'll have to ask Linda DeVore for
I know
numbers.
that last year, did we hit about 150 people last year? 130, 140? Something like that.
Was it last year?
I believe so. That's when we voted the new board. So
yes,
for better or worse, we had a lot of attention brought to our local party. And people were talking about it ahead of time in the lead up. There wasn't a silence from the GOP. Now, I referenced the GOP convention being the elementary school because
is it elementary or was it preschool?
This should be like TK1, the transitional from kindergarten to first, I think, because I don't know who was organizing this convention.
No comment.
Well, it doesn't look. I don't know, and I'm going to ask this question. I mean, why the hell was Wake County GOP selling stuff? Because the women's clubs were there, like our local women's clubs, and they're the ones that volunteer and do stuff for our candidates here. And they're trying to sell merchandise to, raise money. And then who invited Wake County GOP? Why are we competing with another GOP for the 50 people bringing their wallets, maybe? And then
I'm just the first vice chair. I don't know anything. I was told I am up here.
Yeah.
Not me, but I'm here,
and
me as the vice chair is down here, and I'm beneath you, and I'll tell you what you need to know.
Mm-hmm.
So I stopped participating.
I'm
not going to volunteer and go out.
For a volunteer organization that needs to respect people's time and appreciate what they do, that doesn't sound like a very collegial atmosphere.
Well, people wonder why I'm hostile, but let me ask you how you would feel if somebody that you volunteered for said, "I'm up here, you're down here. I'll tell you what you need to know."
Personally, they would be told to pound sand from.
I love the Republican Party more than I dislike the person that mistreats me continually, but I'm the hostile one, supposedly. But all I keep saying is, let me help.
Yeah.
Let me help. Give me something to do. Every time that person has given me something to do, I've done it, and I've done it well. I've kept secrets and whatever.
Well, and the other thing is, our county commissioners weren't allowed to speak.
That's true.
There was a section on the agenda that says elected officials, and they even let the candidates speak, but not our actual. We only have 2 sitting Republican county commissioners right now out of what is it?
Commissioner
9
Patel.
Well, there's 3 in the.
There's
4 more. There's 7 total. Because there's 2 from district.
5 and 2. Yeah, 5 and 2.
Yeah. So there's 7 total. We have 2 seats on the commission, and the people that are most in touch with our pocketbooks as far as property taxes and spending and the pending, like they just announced a revaluation schedule change where our property taxes are going to be done on a 6-year cycle instead of 8 to lessen the sticker shock of how much our taxes they will go up.
That would have been nice to know, but why? We don't need to know that from our elected officials, do we?
I would like to know when we have a chance. Everybody complains that their electeds aren't accessible, and then we bring them there to see them, and we don't want to hear from you. So
no, we did want to hear from them. They were told.
Whoever made that decision was myopic, and hopefully, I wish they had maybe attended some other conventions. They would know how they should be laid out. There was also, I heard about.
But let me just say that our chair was elected, and that person has never been to a convention. So for that being said, it ran pretty smoothly, and overall, there were some bad decisions made, in my opinion, personal opinion, and I think in a lot of other people's decisions, there was some lack of decorum done by using elected officials' first names on stage. That's a little.
Ooh. What?
Yeah.
We're not foreign. Like, we know everybody that is elected.
But in public, I refer to Senator McGinnis as Senator McGinnis. I don't be like, "Hey, Tom, what's up?" But that's the way.
That's a little too colloquial and casual.
So, but overall, the overarching, and he did it was a smooth running operation. There was some decorum issues that were not appropriate, but
I got you.
You know, my hat is off to him for putting that together. Like I said, he didn't have proper leadership or guidance or whatever to know what decorum was.
Did we have any violence? Did everybody go home with all their fingers and toes?
Yes.
I mean, that in itself.
But I want to give him kudos because, like I said, where there were a few things that were not right, decorum wise or whatever, overall, the overarching theme was positive.
Okay. Well, hopefully next year is an election year for the board. So
yes, it is. That's right.
I think I took a lot of flack last year by making a lot of videos and stuff about the GOP board having failed us at that point.
They failed us for this year so far.
Well, okay.
And I'm part of the board.
You're part of the board. You're part of the problem. But
I am 100%.
You know, for better or worse, whether you agreed or disagreed with me, and I think back then it was Pistol Packing Mama and Bree Eldridge. You know, we all participated because we all had receipts to bring that the GOP had missing money back then, and they were mismanaged. And as a candidate, I couldn't get a precinct. It was just all kinds of crazy. But
I don't know if
whether you liked it or not.
Can I clarify something? Hold on just a second. There's been this thing stated that there was missing money. I don't think that there was missing money. There's no we were missing receipts. Maybe all of the things weren't properly budgeted or spent correctly, but I don't know if there was like, oh my God, we're missing money. I don't think that's a proper way to say that.
Well, however you want to say it, it wasn't where it belonged and it wasn't accounted for. So I don't know. I don't have any safe quarter for some of those people that did that and misled our party. Because at the end of the day, there's 50,000 of us. There's 150,000 Democrat and unaffiliated voters in Cumberland County. And when your party, even County Commissioner Henry Tyson, got up in their last Thursday's meeting and he said, y'all need to knock it off. We got to get along. We have to get to the same place no matter what road we take, right?
You see, you're using my little speech.
I didn't expound on it.
I'm just saying.
But you're right.
They talk about unity. They talk about unity. They talk about unity. And then when you find a way to communicate with somebody that I don't agree with or that they don't agree with or whatever, and you start having conversations and finding compromise, go figure compromise. When you start doing that, then you're seen as the villain again.
Yeah. And
it's like, well, wait a minute. I'm the villain if I don't get along with these people. I'm the villain if I find a way to get along with these. What? How does that even work? I don't understand.
Let me tell you something.
It's unity if you see things my way and you're not allowed to differ from it. And you either come aboard my ship and you see it my way or we either get to the goal together or you can be off the island. And one thing I'll remember, somebody told me a year ago, the lion doesn't care what the sheep say. If you're not participating, you haven't joined a board and commission, you haven't participated in a tangible, measurable way for our party, then go kick rocks, because the people that are here are trying to get to having this county and city at least turn purple and go red. And then I see emails like I got an email and somebody says, well, they are so tired of the infighting that people are quitting. Well, you know what? Be a quitter. Well, that's good, because it's certainly not going to change when the regular people or the people, if all the normal people, I'm not normal. I'm not saying that I am, not even remotely. But if all the normal people and the people that think this way quit because they don't like the infighting, then it just goes to extreme infighting because there's no middle of the road people to keep everybody in check. So if instead of quitting, find a way to be in the middle and say, hey, let's do this. Let's do this. How about we see it this way? Stop quitting. Stop. Yes, it is volunteer, but it also affects your every single day life because it's voting locally.
It is. Absolutely.
So stop being a quitter.
All right. Well, we can always do better in our GOP local, and hopefully we have a meeting coming the end of the month. Do we have another XCOM coming up?
No, we have a board meeting.
That's a board meeting. Okay, so the next XCOM, we have no idea when that's going to be. All right. Well, Senator Berger versus Sheriff Page.
Yeah.
Some pretty hotly contested we call it the GOP Civil War. Now, this is a trend across the state where we had what you call establishment GOP. Berger's been in office since 2011. I think he joined, actually, Tom Tillis was still in the state house.
He is the longest serving Republican Senate president pro tem in 140 years.
Wow. Okay.
I did a little research that you didn't know.
Oh, no, you did. So let's talk about, what was I going to say? So he currently, and you found today that
he's losing.
Sheriff Page is leading by a dozen votes.
23
okay.
votes right now. But they have overseas ballots. They're due Thursday. And then on Friday, the counties will certify their elections. Mm-hmm. So depending on how many overseas ballots come in the next day.
Yeah. Well, I'm not sure where people stand. So what
day is today?
Today is the 9th.
Monday.
Yeah, Monday all day.
I'm sick, so I don't even know.
Yes,
so
you
have 3 or 4 days. It's possible that 23 votes could come in. What if it was dead even?
Well, they'd have to have a special election.
Wow.
Yeah, and then
and special elections tend to go towards the incumbent.
They do. Well, Senator Berger spent a lot of money on this campaign.
Yeah,
he had a lot of Page didn't.
Yeah, he had a lot of it to get from the casinos and stuff.
So, we're seeing it everywhere. It's like the voters, they're not automatically rewarding the seniority anymore.
Not anymore.
It's like, no, you've been there long enough. But, you have, like I said, the establishment versus the grassroots, and the grassroots don't always get it right.
Neither does the establishment.
Neither do they. But sometimes it's, you've heard from grassroots candidates, even locally, that, well, would you rather have a Democrat in the seat? Well, I'd rather know what you're going to do for the office and what you know about it instead of.
On that behalf, I will say, you really don't know what you're going to do when you get in office, because until you've served, you have no idea what you're doing. Mm-hmm. You have no idea what you're in for. You can have ideas and feel, I feel strongly about this and I want to help get this passed. But unless you're doing the research to find out what's coming on the floor and how you would vote about this, hey, I want to be pro whatever. If that's not on the floor, or it's not.
Isn't it really childish to want these jobs and really not even admitting what you don't know? Making the adult observation that, there's a lot I don't know and I have learning to do, but this is what I'd like to accomplish. Right. I've not heard that from any local candidate below.
That's because we're not helping the local candidates to give them. That's what we do here at the Republican Candidate Resource Center.
Work on their message.
Yes.
And get them not to sound like.
Because it's okay for a candidate to say, I don't know what I'll exactly accomplish, but I feel strongly about these things, and I know that this has been tabled, and this has been tabled, and this is how I would vote on those things.
Or what's the opponent's voting record?
Right.
Or not just saying, well, they're Democrats, so they must have. No, not all of Democrats vote the way you'd expect, and not all Republicans do either.
That's correct.
So the only thing that I don't say bothers me, but the one thing that I don't think the grassroots considers, and maybe they don't care, is Senator Berger is the longest serving pro tem, right?
Yeah.
So when you in that district just push an incumbent like that out, your standing in the state decreases. Now we will have another
When you
Republican,
say you're standing in the state, explain that for people that don't understand that.
When your senator or House member has been in office in consecutive terms, they go up the food chain.
They start in the back of the room.
Yes.
And as they get seniority, they move towards the front of the room. Mm-hmm. And the front of the room means more power, means more standing.
Well, it means more leadership positions on maybe better committees. Like, I would rather be on the finance committee than I would the committee for hoof and mouth disease or something.
Is there a committee? I wouldn't be surprised if there was.
There's probably, and I don't want to say agriculture isn't a good committee in North Carolina. It probably is a pretty powerful committee. But I don't know. Maybe there's a committee on the use of patchouli or something. I'm like, yeah. But again, I want to be on the finance. I want to be on the
armed services.
National Guard. We have our own army, in North Carolina, sort of. But that's what that district will lose if Sam Page does take this election. Now,
but maybe he's too powerful, and they want to lose that big, huge seat.
Well, do you think?
I don't think that people think about the ramifications of it, though. But
no, because to me, it's a lot of sour grapes. It's like, well,
he
we need to change. Why?
But he did vote on a lot of things that were not in. Okay, so first of all, when they talk about our representatives or our senators or whatever, they're not our leaders. They're our representatives. So you cannot, because you get money from, say, a casino, go and vote to push forward with the casino. You have to talk to the people that you're representing.
Right.
And if you're not going to represent those people, I can understand wanting to push them out. He did it with the casino. He endorsed a Democratic judicial candidate in 2022. He is for, or I'm not sure. He's not with the people on the shrimp trawling ban. I don't know what that means, but
that was
something about raw milk restrictions. I don't know which way he is for or against.
Probably against it, because I think the thing against raw milk would be the farmers and all would want to protect or not let raw milk enter the.
I didn't get too deep into it. I'm just saying that the people wanted.
We got to ask Jessica about that one.
Okay.
Yeah, because she is big on the whole milk and whatever else. She's surprised. I love how like down to earth she is about stuff like that. Like she's very like hippy dippy, but she's not. She's very conservative, but she loves that stuff.
But I mean, if the people that you're representing are for those things or against those things or whatever, and you're voting in opposition to what the people that you represent, then I can understand. I don't care how powerful you are. Your power derives from the people. And if you're not representing the people, then the people are going to take that seat back and give it to somebody who will represent them. There's nothing wrong with that, because so many people that are incumbents, they're running against me for my seat. It's not your seat.
It's not your seat. Yeah. Well, we saw that, so our two-time attendee, Caitlin Marsh, she didn't do so hot, but as a first timer, but that was the rumor around her opponent was, well, he's a well-liked. Well, okay, well, who likes him? And not being facetious, but like, okay, well, who likes him? And it's not his seat.
Right. Everybody has the right to be primaried.
If he's doing his job, he doesn't have anything to worry about.
Now, I think that some primaries go a little far with the vulgarities and the just ugliness and meanness or whatever. Here, you can run a good anti-incumbent campaign by saying, here's how this person voted. Here's how I would have voted. This is why I'm running against them. Not she did this or he did that or wah, wah, wah.
Well, what did I say? You're running for the office, not against the person.
That's right.
What is it you're going to do? And again, that's the value add that I'm not hearing from a lot of local candidates. When you get down below, like the federal offices, like the Congress and stuff, I'm not seeing a real value proposition with some of these folks. Like I don't know.
Nope. But if you come by the Republican candidate, I would say the Candidate Resource Center, because we would like conservative candidates as long as you're not running against a Republican.
Right. Well, I don't know. It depends if I like that Republican, then I'll help you.
That's not true.
Well, okay. I'll do a side business. I'll do the side.
You can do the side business, but as the vice chair of the GOP, I will not help.
You will not help. I know. I'll be all on my own, all by myself.
You will be all on your own. That's the great thing about a partnership, is one partner can do what they want.
So, all right. So end of the day, is this a good look for the grassroots?
Yeah.
You think it's that tight? And
you know what? It's about time that the grassroots gets a little respect, because I've always said, if the grassroots came aboard and the establishment started respecting the grassroots and because they have all these this is what I tried to explain to other people. Like, I was so impressed with President Trump about the Trump, what is it, Trump Force 47, and he was going to have us all at the White House. We got absolutely nothing for that, by the way. I was the first one in Cumberland County. There was no invite to the White House. There was no special anything.
Right.
That was a bold-faced lie, and I'm still pissed off about that. But if you started treating the grassroots people that do all the work, that volunteer like you do, the people with money, and give them a little ball. Use the people that have all that money, and give the people that are knocking the doors a black tie affair. How great would we be if we could partner together? I mean, maybe not a black tie affair. We might want, some fried chicken and some,
I want to wear my jeans and cowboy boots.
Right, exactly.
Yeah,
whatever.
I don't want no black tie.
Start treating the grassroots that does all the work like you do with the people with the money.
It's like,
because
it takes a while for the establishment to realize, that
the establishment needs the grassroots.
They need the grassroots.
And if the grassroots continue to rise up, the establishment can take their money and they're going to be like, holy smokes, can we play with the grassroots, please? Which is not a bad thing.
Okay. So I think to close this up here, I mean, is this a big like shakeup of the establishment in Raleigh if Berger does indeed end up losing his election?
I think so.
Do you think other candidates are maybe at risk next? Not, well, of course not in this midterm, but in 2 more years.
As the grassroots become more successful, the grassroots become more successful. To me, it's like a rolling ball. Holy smokes, maybe I do need to.
Okay, but are the grassroots nothing more than the Tea Party 2.0? Like, because the Tea Party came along.
Don't say it like that.
Well,
nothing more than.
Well, because we have these movements within the Republican Party. We had the Tea Party. They quickly got vilified by the left as Nazis and fascist, all that stuff that they were practicing, right. I think, with the Tea Party. And is the grassroots just the next iteration of that more conservative movement within the Republican Party?
A little bit, yes. A little bit, no. I think it's a combination of people that are tired. Like, I'm very, very annoyed. And if anybody knows, I would do anything to get, I think Trump, I have my faults with Trump 100%. I'm not whatever, but I walked doors. I would go home at nighttime and I couldn't walk for a couple days because I had walked so much because I was promised something to be treated like somebody with all of this big money.
Right.
So,
well, you won't do that again. But if if that happens to the resource center, we'll make sure we take care of our people.
100%. But I'm just saying, I will not do that again for any candidate because they lied, and I'm really pissed off at Trump and his cabinet and everybody in it about that. And I even asked our state, what's going on with that? I mean, and.
Yeah,
whatever.
Well, don't do it again. Well, if you're pissed off with Trump and his cabinet, we do have this little thing called the Iranian conflict.
Okay.
That we're getting into. That
I'm not mad about that.
I'm not. So people are calling it a war. I'm not quite ready to call it a war yet. It's a conflict right now.
Yep.
But maybe you could call it a war because we've been technically death to America, terrorism by proxy since 1979.
Okay.
When the Ayatollah overthrew the Shah, which was the monarchy back then, and took our embassy hostage for like 400. It was over a year. It was 400 plus days.
We didn't do anything about it.
We didn't do shit. Yeah.
Well, now we have a president that's actually doing something about it.
Well, and I don't want to say that no Republican president ever had the gall that Trump does. I think what Trump was faced with was he had success in door dashing Maduro. He went and got him. He's got success with
door dashing him, really.
Yeah, like he sent out for me. He sent out for dessert. Yeah. Well, he said, come and get me, coward. I'm in Mila Flores, and Trump's like, I got you, bro.
Yeah.
So I think he had some success with that, with well orchestrated. He let the military have the latitude to do what the hell the military does, ignoring political ramifications. And
I also think that Iran was becoming closer and closer to having a nuclear weapon. And if Iran gets a nuclear weapon, we can, by the way, death to America. What do you think they're going to do with a nuclear weapon?
They're not going to. They're just going to use it for show and tell.
Oh, is that what it is?
Yeah.
Death for America and blowing up things. Yeah, they're just joking.
Yeah, they're just kidding around. They're just joshing. Yeah. Well, and I think in the midst of this bombardment that we have unleashed all holy hell on these guys, one of the people in their government they got him to negotiate, and the guy says, well, we still have a lot of plutonium or whatever it is. It's like, we're trying to negotiate, bro.
Right.
Like, and that's how they're negotiating. It's like, well, we still have okay, well, I hope you're hungry because we're about to give that to you rectally. So new developments.
Well, 7 U.S. troops have already been killed.
Yes. Did I see something about people? Somebody was somebody's always pissed at Trump, but did he wear a baseball hat or something? It was the USA.
He had
white
hat back. He was in the back.
Yeah.
Several people had hats on actually, but he didn't do something rude and crass like look at his watch.
Yeah. He at least remembered where he was. Well, again, Biden didn't know where the hell he was half the time anyway. Let's be honest.
Anyway,
my left foot. So I did see before we came on that the former leader's son, Mojtaba Khomeini, is the new supreme leader.
Say that again.
Mojtaba Khomeini. So these guys, they're not understanding these signals we're laying down. I mean, this guy is another continuation of the hard line.
That's exactly right. I mean, these are Persians. If anybody doesn't know, Iran.
No. These people are
these
terrorists.
People are terrorists.
Yeah.
But this country was Persian, and they took their flag and they made it into a religious thing. Yeah. But the Persian women are beautiful, first of all, and you already said that.
I already said, if there's any Persian refugees, 25 to 35 years old, females, single.
Okay. Anyway,
I have a room.
Anyway,
I'm just trying to help.
But they didn't wear the hijab, whatever it's called. But
and
because
the beekeeper outfits.
Right.
Yeah.
But because these terrorists have come in, and now these women must.
Well, they'd be beaten in the street if they didn't have their hijab on. There was
I loved the video of the American women chanting in the street to let Iran be Iran, leave Iran alone. Yeah. And the women in the street in Iran are like taking off their
hijab and they're dancing
and saying thank you. Boy, are we out of touch.
Well,
not all of us.
Not all of us, but no, that's how far the left will go to defend what they think is a defensible position.
No, it's not defensible position. It's anti-Trump.
What they think. I didn't say it is.
Trump did it. It's bad. I really believe that if Trump came up with a cure for cancer, they would boycott it.
Well, I wish they wouldn't take it then. Then we eradicate ourselves of crazy blue hair liberals. Yeah.
They don't all have blue hair. Some have
just the crazy. We welcome purple and blue hairs here too. So we have lost 7 troops. Now, this is a good side effect. Iran is bombarding not only U.S. planes and going after our bases over there, but they're bombing other Arab states like UAE.
Yep.
And I believe there was in Qatar and some other places.
So now they're all joining in.
Yeah. Yeah. So keep it up, Iran. And I couldn't confirm where this quote came from, but the Israelis, as far as I know, they were quoted as saying that if you're on the government, so this son of Khomeini over here, if you're in the leadership, you're on our list.
Yeah.
So this is.
I just want them to open the Strait of Hormuz so that the oil will go back down, because I don't like paying obscene amounts for my gas.
Well, I'm just going to work a little harder the next couple of weeks so I can afford some of that gas, because I'd like to see this come to an end quickly.
That's what I would like.
We do have Trump saying that he was asked, who's going to take over Khomeini's, and he said whoever the Iranian people choose.
That's right.
He's not looking to do nation building. He's not trying to get mired into a long term.
This isn't a forever war.
It's not an occupation.
We're going to take over. We're going to make sure that they don't have
militants,
and we're going to make sure that they don't have plutonium or whatever it is to make the bomb, and then y'all on your own. Well, you people need to stand up for yourselves.
I was listening to a former Green Beret on a podcast yesterday, and he said, or Navy SEAL actually, and he says, we were almost there in Iraq before we got pulled out, when Obama just had made that arbitrary deadline that we're pulling troops out. It emboldened our enemy by telling them when we're going to surrender. But second of all, we almost had him a government. That, from his perspective, he felt like we were already there. Now, you cannot give democracy to somebody that lives in 700 AD.
I was going to say,
they don't understand.
So far, I haven't seen any place where we've gone in to fix their government and it's actually worked.
Yeah,
the people have to want it. The people have to fight for it. We can't go in and set it up, because when we leave, it's not going to happen. Yeah, no.
So, what are some? Do you think we want to change the regime, or are we just trying to get rid of the nukes?
I think we're yes and yes, no and no, and no and yes. We didn't want to be in charge of who is the regime, but we wanted to get rid of the current regime.
Okay. All right.
So you guys in Iran need to step up and take over your government. We're not going to be in charge of that. At least I don't think we are.
Well, I do think
just from who's taken over already. I'm not real impressed.
I don't think they're getting the message that we're going to keep coming for you.
But at the same time, they were fighting in the streets, and we were a little too late. We allowed tens of thousands of people that were protesting in the streets, and they're saying, "Where is America?"
Which is, I think, why we moved up our timeline. We probably weren't planning to go in this soon, but we couldn't. The U.S. isn't going to sit by and watch that crap on CNN.
But tens of thousands of people were killed, so you can understand why I'm not ready to quite go in the street until I know that I can go in the street and actually have some weapons or something. I mean, we need to be like, taking care of the people.
Yeah. Well, given the geography and how central Iran is in the Middle East, one comment I heard was, there will never be stability if that key geographic location is not taken care of. If it's unstable, then the whole region's unstable. So maybe we're turning a page.
Hopefully, especially with all of the surrounding countries and things coming to be like, holy smokes, they're bombing us too. Wait a minute.
Well, that was one of the things I was going to point out.
back.
Like one of the questions was, is this going to become regional or, involving multiple Arab states? And I think it will, but on the offensive to Iran. I don't think they're going to join in against the U.S.
No.
I think they're like, no. We have stability here.
Right.
So we're
ever since the Arab, I'm not Arab.
Arab Spring.
No, the Accords, the Abraham Accords. I couldn't think of the name.
What was that?
The Abraham Accords are the ones that Jared Kushner went over there and got several of the countries to sign, and they are all in agreement.
Well, hey,
for peace.
Trump said he's creating jobs everywhere. So he opened up the Khomeini job.
That's true.
That was a reporter saying, who's going to take over? He's like, well, I'm creating jobs all over the world.
That's true.
So,
but that's a government job. So
we did mention that oil is up, so that's going to cost us a little bit at the gas pump. I don't think it's going to turn into a regional war because I think there is a fatigue with war, and I mean, who really is okay with, like in Israel, they go to sleep under the threat of Palestinian mortars. Who's okay with that?
Nobody.
So hopefully,
isn't this like one of the signs of the end of the world in the Bible? Peace in the Middle East. Isn't that one?
Maybe if it was just the Jews and the Persians, you're dealing with the Israeli government and the Iranian government. I don't
with the
know.
Abraham Accords and all of that peace in the Middle East. I'm just saying, just throwing it out there. Coming of Christ.
So Alexander the Great and Genghis Khan, they had a good strategy. They would go and conquer, and they would basically screw the hostility out of the population.
Okay.
Exactly what I just said. They would mate with the local population and just breed it out of them. Even the Romans did that. So if you're an able-bodied man, no.
Oh my God. No, and no.
If you're an able-bodied American male between no, but what I'm getting at is it's a generational thing. You're not going to get the crazy out in one generation or two, but you have to set the path for these people to
but I'm just
grow,
saying, is this the beginning steps to the end of it?
No.
Okay.
I'm not a religious scholar. I'm sure there's a case to be made for that. Okay. But
I'm not a religious
biblical
scholar
stuff, I believe, refers to the people, the chosen people.
Okay.
And just because it's Israel doesn't mean they're the chosen people.
Peace in the Middle East.
Yeah.
Did you say?
I'm more worried about like the Federal Reserve.
I welcome the coming of Christ. So I'm
good for right now. I don't need to push my luck.
Okay.
What was I going to say? I'm more concerned about the Federal Reserve starting a digital currency.
Why?
Mark of the beast kind of crap. See, that kind of crap scares me. But this
so
thing
now
with
we
Israel
have peace in the Middle East. We're talking about digital currency.
Mm-hmm. Well, they're talking about being able to scan your arm and crap like that. I don't know. I mean,
are these not all signs?
Those are.
Just so
but again, the Bible didn't say, well, if the government of Persia and the government of Israel.
No, it says peace in the Middle East.
Right. What? Just if it's peaceful, then we're going to have the end of the world?
No, I'm just saying that's one of the signs.
If we have peace?
In the Middle East.
Why is that bad? People aren't killing each other.
Because it's been so volatile.
I got to talk to the guy that wrote the Bible because, they got
there's more than one, just so you know.
There was a lot.
Yeah,
I don't think they had any women on the writing staff.
They might have been. They might have been ghostwriters.
Yeah,
because there were several women, powerful women in the Bible. Mm-hmm. So they could have been writing
that whole thing about adultery. That's probably the woman's contribution. Yeah.
Anyway.
All right.
What else we got to talk about? Anything?
I mean, we talked about the GOP convention, Cumberland County. We talked about Senator Berger and Mr. Sam Page. Now, one thing about that I didn't mention, he's being the sheriff.
Yes.
How tough do you think it would be for a state senator to run against a law and order sheriff in a Republican dominated area? I mean, that had to have just made,
especially a popular sheriff.
Yes, a popular sheriff.
So we
like
do running need to have, against the postman.
Hey, everybody likes him.
Everybody likes him. He sees everybody. He's already walking the neighborhood.
Well, should have killed me, but didn't. So I'm still standing, baby.
Yeah,
one thing we do need to bring Mr. Troy McDuffie, since he did pass the primary.
Yes, we do.
So we need to have him return, because remember, I asked him, what's your plans for the office? He says, I want to get through the primary first.
Right, that is true.
So he's through the primary, so it's time to invite him back. We need to have Mr. Glenn Adams back on, and we need to invite Sheila Cuffey, since essentially they've won their elections because there's no opponents.
That's true.
That's it. They go straight to November. Now, the at-large winners, Veronica Jones and Charles Evans, will advance to the fall, and they will be against two Republicans,
Greg West
and Ron Ross. And so they have, my God, they got till November.
There's a chance that we could actually get one Republican on there.
I think we can. I think with the right strategy and the right talking to people that don't look, think, and act like you, you might actually be able to win some people over.
Right.
Mr. West is a very reasonable guy, and so is Ron Ross.
He served a long time on the school board,
which is very. It doesn't matter what party you're in when it comes to your kids.
That's right.
So hopefully we'll have some
Plus
people
we have
back
some
on.
Republican candidates. I mean, we have representatives. Let's see, Janine Ackles made it through the primary. She'll need to come back.
Frances Jackson did. Diane Wheatley.
Yep. Let's see. Val Applewhite, we need to have her along with Venus de la Cruz.
We got a busy few months ahead of us.
Yep.
Now, come Wednesday at 2:00, we have Mr. Lenny Friedman. He is the vice president of the Carolina Forward. It's a third party that's trying to get started here in North Carolina, and they're trying to change the way we vote to a voter's choice thing. It's pretty interesting. I've read up on it, but I'll let you. We'll talk about it. We'll have them on Wednesday. So
sell me, because I don't believe
anything else for the good of the order today.
Ranked voting is horrible, but
we're going to talk about it Wednesday.
Okay, we'll talk
about
it Wednesday.
To everybody watching, thank you for joining us this evening for our short session.
I'm going home, going to bed.
We're getting Laura out of here to go convalesce, and until Wednesday, we'll see you. Have a good evening.